testigo mo talaga ay nakakondisyon na ang utak na magte-testify laban dun sa kliyente mo, you cannot expect a very independent or a truthful testimonies from the witness. So, kaya ang isang witness tinatawag bilang hostile witness because pwede mong i-discredit yung character ng witness, yung testimony ng, eventually yung magiging testimony ng witness.
Dagdag ko lang, pwede ring tanungin ng leading questions
yes,
para mas mapadali yung
pagtatanong.
Bakit titibagin nila yung gusto niyang ipresenta sa korte, pero mukhang hindi nga nagawa yun ng Justice Cuevas. Attorney, ito pang nangyari dito. Mukhang nag-argue yung witness with the lawyer. At napansin natin lahat yun. Napansin ni Presiding Officer Enrile na mukhang nagiging argumentative yung yung abogado, si Justice Cuevas, at saka yung witness. Ano po pala ang rule dapat sa mga ganong bagay?
Pag hindi ka pwede mag-argue sa witness mo, actually, yan ang rule. Kasi, in fact, one of the grounds for objection is when the counsel is being argumentative or the counsel is arguing with the witness. In this case, kilala natin na yung si Justice Cuevas, both kasi si Justice Cuevas at si Ombudsman came from the Supreme Court. So, it's not unusual for two former justices to engage in a sort of a debate. Of course, ang pinakamadaling trabaho ngayon yung prosecution lawyer because si Ombudsman Conchita Morales, she's really a very intelligent witness, being a former justice of the Supreme Court at that.
Attorney Revilla, isa nga sa mga pinagtalunan nitong si Justice Cuevas at ni Ombudsman Morales ay yung pag-iimbestiga niya dito kay Chief Justice. Sinasabi ni Justice Cuevas na hostile witness itong si Ombudsman dahil iniimbestigahan niya itong si Chief Justice. At ito ay dininay ni Ombudsman. Bakit hindi otomatiko na pag ginagawa niya yung trabaho niya ay hostile witness na siya?
Well, two sides of argument yan na tama naman yung sinabi ni Ombudsman Morales na I cannot be considered as hostile witness kasi ako, ang pag-iimbestag ko, yung ginagawa ko ay part lang ng trabaho ko. And I do not have any adverse interest to the Chief Justice para ako tawagin bilang hostile witness. Kaya yun din yung naging posisyon ng prosecution. May puntos doon din yung prosecution because yung ginagawang pag-iimbestiga, tama naman, ay in accordance with the duties and function of the Ombudsman yun.
Nabanggit nga kanina yung question on legal basis at sinabi nga ng witness na meron siyang basihan under the Ombudsman law. Pero nabanggit din ni Justice Cuevas na dapat gawin yan ayon sa tamang procedure. Bakit naging issue yun kung meron palang batas na nagmamandate or nagbibigay kapangyarihan versus dun sa sinasabi ni Justice Cuevas na tamang procedure? Meron pa sa tingin mong questionable dun sa ginawa nilang procedure?
Sa nakita ko, wala pa akong nakikitang questionable na ginawang, any questionable act done by or performed by the Ombudsman, no? Ang nakita natin sa trial, yung sinabi niya, may na-receive yung office niya ng complaint and she merely acted on that complaint. And in fact, humingi siya ng assistance sa AMLA. So far, based dun sa nag-gather natin, everything is in accordance with the procedure.
Isa rin sa naging o sa tinalakay dito sa direct examination, itong sulat na ipinadala ni Ombudsman Morales kay Chief Justice Corona. At lumalabas na iniimbestigahan na pala ang punong mahistrado bago pa man ipinadala itong sulat. Sumusunod ba ito sa tamang proseso?
Yes, yung office kasi ng Ombudsman is once they receive a complaint at pag nabasa nila yung complaint, kung sa tingin nila ay may basihan, may ebidensya naman or may rason para mag-conduct ng investigasyon, they can proceed with that, no? So, in this case, tama naman yung proseso na ginawa ng Ombudsman. The best thing, tama yung in accordance, sinasabi nga ni Ombudsman Morales, yung pagsulat nila kay Chief Justice Corona at binigyan siya ng opportunity to explain, nandun din yan sa batas, nasasaad din yan sa batas.
Ang isa pang napag-usapan kanina yung right nga ni Justice Corona on the secrecy of his dollar accounts. At ang sagot ni Ombudsman Morales ay hindi naman daw galing sa bank yung kanyang impormasyon kung hindi galing sa AMLAC. Anong diferensya nun kung galing sa bank versus galing sa AMLAC, attorney?
Okay, ang bank kasi, hindi sila pwedeng mag-disclose ng information without the consent of the client or the depositor. Ang AMLAC, may authority yan to inquire into bank accounts, but upon order of the courts. Or may mga instances when the court order is when a court order is no longer required.
What are those instances?
Okay. May marami yan, no. One of the instances is pag may mga suspicious activities.
Or yung 500
Yung 500,000 pesos transaction in one day. Yun yung covered transaction. Meron pang ibang mga transaction, like for example, yung mga transaction na that deviates from the normal operations or transaction ng isang depositor ng bangko.
So in this instance po ba, attorney, na binigay ng Anti-Money Laundering Council sa Ombudsman itong records na ito po ba'y naaayon sa batas?
Hindi ko pa masasagot yan kasi number one, we really do not know what kind of documents was provided by the AMLA to the Ombudsman. Kasi pinakita lang doon na may dokumentong finorward pero hindi pa na-identify kung anong dokumento ito.
Pero nais questionin ni Justice Cuevas yung paano nakuha ng AMLAC yung records. Pero ang sabi ni Presiding Officer Enrile, ibang usapin yan. That's a completely different matter altogether. Bakit hindi pwedeng gawin ni Justice Cuevas yun? Na-questionin in this proceedings yung procedure ng AMLAC.
Well, he can try. He can always try. Kasi, defense is expected to question everything that is being presented against their client. That's their job, no? Pero as to whether there is irregularity in this, kung paano nakuha itong mga dokumentong ito, the best party or the best person to answer that would be the AMLAC.
AMLAC, hindi na si Ombudsman.
Hindi si Ombudsman. Because nasa receiving end lang si Ombudsman.
Napag-usapan din, Cathy, yung possibility na baka magtrabaho tayo muli next year, kung ma-file ulit yung panibagong impeachment. Napakahirap naman. Nabanggit kanina, attorney, yung 1-year rule. Nabanggit ni Attorney Karen Jimeno yung hindi dapat mag-file ng impeachment sa bawat taon. Pero tama po ba yung nabanggit kanina na merong kapangyarihan ng Ombudsman para mag-initiate ng investigasyon for purposes of impeachment?
Yes, I think, yes, under the Ombudsman Act.
Okay.
Attorney, isa rin sa mga na-erase ni Justice Cuevas dito sa direct examination ay yun ngang pagsasali nitong issue patungkol sa $10 million account dito sa impeachment trial, gayong ayon sa kanya, hindi naman ito alleged dito sa impeachment complaint. Hindi po ba dahil pinatawag ng depensa itong mga complainant na ito at maging si Ombudsman patungkol dito sa issue ng account na ito, does it automatically mean na ina-acknowledge nilang kasama ito?
Ito kasi ang nangyari dyan eh. Diba, dun sa articles of impeachment, may mga allegations doon na may mga peso and foreign deposit accounts si Chief Justice. Pero itong mga foreign accounts na to, hindi to nabuksan dahil nag-issue ang Supreme Court ng TRO. And ngayon, may nilalabas na dokumentong Ombudsman na may mga foreign deposit accounts ngayon si Chief Justice. Hindi natin alam kung ano tong mga foreign deposit accounts na to. Hindi natin alam kung totoo, kung itong mga foreign deposit accounts na inallege dun sa complaint, are also included or part of the foreign deposit accounts that were provided by AMLAC to the Ombudsman.
Isang nangyari dito, Attorney Cathy, ay si Attorney Judd Roy, merong nabanggit at binasa nga ni Senator Drilon yung records ng proceedings ng huli.
Yung Tuesday.
Ito, siyempre, kung nais mang baguhin ito ni Justice Cuevas, pwede niya pa bang baliktarin yung sinabi ng kasama niya, abogado? O talagang he is bound by that?
They're bound by their statements already. Hindi na nila pwedeng sabihin na nagkamali. Or hindi mahirap sabihin na nagkamali. Actually, may rule sa rules of court na clients are bound by the mistakes of their lawyers. But this is one huge mistake, if at all. You can consider it as a mistake. No, we cannot. At this point, mahirap naman magsalita na nagkamali ang.
Paano niya kasi dalawang abogado? Yung sinabi na abogado.
Pwede ba niya sabihin na yan ang posisyon ni Attorney Roy, pero hindi niya yan ikinonsulta sa buong team. Pwede ba yun?
Hindi, kasi si Attorney Roy nagsalita on behalf of his clients. So, kung ano yung commitment ni Attorney Roy or representation niya, that would also be the commitment of client. Especially if he's speaking for and on behalf of the client at the time he made that representation.
Tapos nabanggit nga kanina, napakahalaga nun na premise ni Attorney Roy doon na hindi ito kasama sa complaint para sa kanila, but just the same, they're not gonna skirt the issue, they're going to explain it and face it head on. Talagang para bang dinala nila itong issue na ito back into the trial. Tama po ba yan, Attorney? Pwede po ba yung gawin ng depensa?
Plus, ito ang kailangan i-clarify natin. When yung defense, when they called in the ombudsman, one of the purposes why she was being asked to testify is to prove that there is no such foreign deposit account. So ang purpose nila, ma-establish yung non-existence ng account na yan. But as it is turning out right now, meron daw. Hindi pa natin nakikita yung account na yan, kung ano yung document na present, na dala-dala ngayon ni ombudsman. Pero it would appear na that the defense is hesitating to ask about that documents because they could have asked that during their direct examination, but they did not touch on the documents. Kahit na pinapakita, na kanina ka pa pinapakita ni Ombudsman Morales na may dala-dala akong documents, pero yung defense refused or ignored those documents. So, ngayon, magko-cross-examine ngayon ang prosecution, dun lang nilabas yung documents. So, may presumption na ayaw yun ilabas ng defense.